Hello, everyone. I hope that you all are having a wonderful week. And I'm back again with another Cosmic Channeled Diary. And I have been listening to a lot of the chatter about the things that are currently taking place with system corruption or moving into the new earth and more and more and more. And the more I listen, a lot is to me is kind of sounding like conspiracy theory. Now, these theories can have some truth embedded in them, but usually the story itself that's wrapped around conspiracy theories can oftentimes be quite inflated. So, as you know, I asked a source about this and about the conspiracies, and this was what I downloaded. So, before I get ready to dive in to share the information that I got, I just want to take a few minutes to just get a little bit grounded before we get started. So, if you're with me right now, go ahead and just take a deep breath in and go ahead, just release and just allow yourself to just settle right here, right now into this moment, feeling your body, feeling your breath as you inhale and exhale. And just feel the pulse of the earth right beneath your feet and allowing the rhythm of your vibration to just come into sync with the earth's vibration. And just allow that just to come together. Sinking into that beautiful rhythm of Mother Gaia. And when you're ready, just go ahead and take another deep breath in. And another exhale and just release. Okay, so let's dive into the messaging that I got from my download. So there has definitely been a subtle but I'm going to say powerful shift that is occurring in the collective field right now. And as you know, there's a lot of stuff that's going on just in general with the vibration of the earth, with the Schumann resonance as a result of Atlas, of 3i Atlas. And now we have another one, another entity that has come into our atmosphere that is acting very similar to 3i Atlas. So there's a lot that's going on just energy wise. And you may be experiencing or feeling this shift as like agitation. It can come as confusion, or maybe it's just disbelief. And you're like, I don't think that's what's happening is really happening. And all of that is legitimate. But I can tell that many are really grasping for answers. And in that grasping, they are being pulled into this frequency of what appears to be kind of conspiracy. So I just want to share this so that we can just have an understanding, like a very clear understanding that, like I said prior, conspiracies, the whole thing is not necessarily truth. There might be a piece of it, of some kind of truth maybe embedded in that, but oftentimes conspiracy theories come out of the frequency of being like traps, wanting to get you into this very looping and dangerous, feedback loop. And oftentimes, like I said, they're designed to hook into your nervous system. They deliberately hook in to your nervous system, and it keeps you spinning or looping in this fear and distrust, and then most importantly, disconnection. It really keeps us separated from one another. And so their energy often loves to like feed on polarity and that separation. So whether, like I said, they're true or false, in detail, it's all irrelevant. So what matters most is the vibration that they're carrying, because the energy of conspiracy is usually always embedded in fear, and this fear is always disguised as awareness. So we have to be really, really careful about that. And oftentimes it whispers like, wake up, wake up. But it really is only leading us into a totally different kind of sleep, one where we become extremely hyper vigilant, we become guarded, and we really become closed off to the higher truth that really exists beyond our own human comprehension. So you are not necessarily in a world of conspiracies, you're in a world of disruption and distortion. But here's the thing, is that I always, no matter how toxic or how negative it may sound, I truly believe that there is something good. Like, I believe that everything in this world, even when it's challenging, hard, difficult, or whatever you want to label it, there's always a positive to it. And so, conspiracy really, again, creates disruption and distortion. Well, if we're going to make changes to not only our own personal transformation, doing changes there, but on a collective level, disruption is necessary. But it's important to remember that also distortion is always temporary. And both are part of the purification that is required for Earth's ascension into this new harmonic frequency. We have to have this so that so it's kind of like we get shaken up a bit so that we can really start going into that alchemization process of purifying ourselves, the collective, the cosmos as a whole, and really start finding that truth that lies first of all in ourselves. And then, of course, it will ripple out into the collective and the cosmos. So this current phase that we're going through is not punishment. It's not collapse. It really is a resetting of our energetic architecture. So everything that before that was built on manipulation, control, and inversion is now surfacing to be dissolved. And to me, that sounds amazing. Like, let's dissolve this stuff so that we can really step into that enlightenment and ascension and expansion that we all came here to be and experience, right? So free will right now at this stage of the planetary cycle is not being taken away from us. So it has already been, like, I'm going to tell you, free will has already been determined across all timelines right now. Humanity has chosen evolution, and that's part of that free will. And Earth has chosen ascension. So the trajectory is already set. So even on all of this chaos and this fear and this I'm going to say, and probably a lot of this misinformation that we're receiving, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because the trajectory is set for Earth's new ascension. So what varies in your experience of the journey that you're having right now is truly how gracefully or how painfully you move through it. And that's a choice. Like, we always have a choice. Like they say, suffering is a choice, and it's true. Suffering is a choice, happiness is a choice, and so we get to choose how we want to move through it. So the old vibrational programs that kept looping, that honestly kept Earth looping in these lower densities, is truly now starting to be dismantled. So it's starting to break free of these old codes that have kind of been holding us hostage. And truthfully, we must allow the new ones to really start coming in and start integrating. We need to allow these codes that are rewriting literally our DNA and awakening those dormant strands and shifting the physical human body into this beautiful crystalline template. I'm going to say the more resistant we are, the harder it's going to be. Again, like I said, it's inevitable that this is going to happen. So we always have a choice. Do we put up resistance and make it difficult for us, or do we just allow and be and let this beautiful process take place? Because as human beings moving into this new earth and this new earth ascension, we have to change. We have to change on a physiological level. We have to start changing our biology. We have to change so many things about us. And don't take that so many things as like, oh my gosh, what's everything that's changing? We're already changing. And so if we just allow the process to move through us, it can actually move through us a lot quicker. And so this process really requires trust, it requires openness, and it requires neutrality. So the moment that we fall into fear through conspiracy, blame, or even resistance, my dog had an opinion there. I don't know if you heard him, but so anyways, when we allow fear through these things of like conspiracy and the blame and resistance, or even anger and overwhelm, we then constrict that very pathway that the light codes use to anchor within us. So in all honesty, fear scrambles our internal circuitry, and that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to scramble it and confuse it, because if it does that, then it has control, right? So when that happens, it blocks DNA and it blocks the rethreading of our DNA. And it really disconnects us from our star siege lineage, our cosmic remembrance, and just our innate divine intelligence, period. So what happens is you can't receive new frequencies while still clinging to the energy of that fear. It's impossible to receive these unless we surrender and we just allow it to happen. So as I was talking to Source, you know me, I'm like, what are some ways that we can really clear and be open during this transitional period? And I love Source because it gave me 7 beautiful ways that we can really just surrender and allow this beautiful process of these new crystalline DNA codes to just come into our bodies as we move through this period of time. So the first one that is so important, which oftentimes a lot of us that are in this space, we don't want to do because it's easier to be outside of our body than inside of our body at times. But I'm telling you, being outside of the body is not making it any easier. So number 1 is to stay in our body. If we can ground daily, which is why I started off grounding you today. If we can ground daily, if we can touch earth, if we can eat consciously, the light body can then only form through an integrated embody vessel. So the more grounded that we are, especially grounded and connected to Mother Gaia, the easier it becomes. So we want to stay in our body. So the second one, and I just mentioned it, is consume consciously. So that's not just what we eat. We want to guard our energy like it is sacred currency, because honestly it is. So we need to not only pay attention to what we're actually putting in our body in the way of consumption, but we also want to limit time spent online, going down those rabbit holes, or really diving into that truth-seeking space that oftentimes starts to amplify that fear and anxiety. So notice how your body feels after reading or watching something. So that's part of that grounding into the body, right? When we're grounded into the body, we can really pay attention to how it's reacting to the information that we are consuming. So if your body contracts, you know right away that whatever it is that you're consuming is not truth. It's total distortion. If it feels good and it lands very gently, you know that there is truth in whatever it is that you are hearing. Okay. Number 3 is all about returning to neutrality. Truth does not demand urgency or panic ever. It really does invite stillness. So if something requires you to react very quickly or feel fear, the best thing that you could do is pause and step into that stillness that is within that pause, because that pause right there is power. It is literally bringing you back to your center, your truth, and your remembrance. Okay, number 4 is anchor in to direct experience. So what does that mean? It means trust your own inner knowing. You have this intuitive awareness. We all have it. And it truly does know when something is off. If it feels dense, sticky, or extremely chaotic, it's not your path, and you can feel it in your body, right? Again, the importance of grounding, making sure that we are in our body and not out of it, but we can actually feel that density in our bodies. So we want to truly make sure that we are anchoring into that direct experience. Okay. So next is we want to strengthen our connection to source frequency. Now I'm going to tell you, I feel like this is one of the most important things because source does not lie. We have a direct connection, all of us, to go directly to source. And that connection is our higher mind or our higher self or your super conscious, whatever word that you resonate with. But we literally have this built-in system that is a direct line to source. And so I feel it's really important that we visit that and we tap into that daily, if not constantly. But I know sometimes life takes us in other directions and we are living in the 3D, but even when you're in the 3D world, you can still connect into that higher consciousness. And so if we spend time in things like meditation, silence, or in nature, like we are connecting with divine source, the creator. And there's a comfort in that, because you can feel that comfort in that unconditional love of just being held and supported. So right now, because I feel that this is so important, I want to spend just a few moments just inviting in the new light codes. And I want to do this consciously. So let's just go ahead and it doesn't matter with your eyes open or closed, but place your hands on your heart space. And I just want you to just take a really, really deep breath in. So a deep breath in and then release. And again, just anchoring into your body. And then what I want you to say, and you can say this out loud or in your mind, it doesn't matter. I open myself to receive the highest frequencies of truth, peace, and clarity available to me right now. And with another deep breath in, we're going to breathe in, anchoring that in, allowing it to just fill every cell and fiber of our being. And then when you're ready, just go ahead and release. Settling in. And on the release, your body just starts to relax. It's really just settling in. Let it just completely settle in. All right. Make it a daily habit if you can to connect to source. I don't care if it is for 2 minutes or if you do it for an hour, it doesn't matter. Let's connect, right? Okay, so the next thing is moving your energy. When disruption arises, we have to let it flow through our body. But how do we let that flow through our body? Because if we don't allow it to flow and process, it gets stagnant and then it gets stored in the body. And then, as you know, it shows up as like other things like aches and pains, illness, anxiety, overwhelm, stress, depression. So we don't want that disruption to get stuck in our body, right? Because it is going to move through our body. It's a frequency. So one of the best things to do is that when disruption arises, again, let's pick some activities that help in moving it through. Dance if you love to dance, be silly, it doesn't matter, breathe. You may feel yourself wanting to cry, cry. Release it in any way that you can. And I'm going to tell you, crying is so good because what happens is it's actually the body's natural releasing mechanism. Because when neuropeptides get stored in our body, and neuropeptides are things like fear, distortion, all those things that we do not want in our body, one of the ways that the body naturally releases it is through tears and crying. So allow your body to just cry, let it out. You know, it's actually, and it's so funny because I just kind of got this hit that like, oh, if I cry, I'll look weak. And we don't want these distortions to know that they won. Well, you know what? It's not weakness. It's actually truly a superpower to be able to allow that and be okay with that releasement of everything. So don't let that density crystallize within you, because it's not good. It doesn't feel good. And then other frequencies that are like that are either a vibrational match or close to it, those will start coming. You'll start attracting those, and those will start storing in your body as well. So then the other thing is choosing compassion over certainty. I'm going to say it again, choosing compassion over certainty. The need to be right is another form of control. And right now, we're in this energy of everybody wanting to be right, and anybody who doesn't agree is like evil or like the devil. And it's just causing more separation, more fear, angst, you name it. And it really feeds into that idea of conspiracy. So letting go the need to be right is really important. Let go of trying to prove or trying to persuade. Simply embody light, and truth will always magnetize through you and around you. Okay, so that was the 7 things that I received from Source on how to move this energy out and how to really stand in your own remembrance and your own truth. So when these theories or conspiracy theories start kind of floating around, that you truly can stand in your truth and not let your foundation be shaken. Okay, so before I close, I would love to do a final transmission just to allow this integration to happen. And I just think it would be really good for us to be able to do that because, like I said, right now we are being guided through this evolutionary gateway, and the distortion that you are seeing and experiencing in the world is not at all a sign of failure. It is evidence that the false, just the falseness of the false lies that are coming around are really just dissolving. Sorry, I had a little bit of a brain fart there that came in. So usually when I brain fart, it's because I start getting messages about something else. So I apologize for the distraction. But know that all of this is starting to dissolve. So don't mistake chaos for collapse or destruction. It really is the pulse of rebirth. And that's exactly what is happening right now. So the more that you resist, the denser your field becomes. The more you soften into trust, the more your light body activates. So you're not here to decode conspiracies. That's not what we're here to do. We are here to embody cosmic coherence. Okay, so remember, the truth doesn't shout. It's not loud. It's actually very subtle. It hums very quietly within our heart. So when something comes up that we're questioning or creates any of that discomfort, return there, return back to your heart. And that is real, and it will reveal itself in perfect timing. And so I'm going to do this transmission really quick with you. I want to share that with you. I want to integrate this. So what I want you to do is we're going to go back into our heart space, take a deep breath in and out. And I just want you to connect with the natural rhythm of your heart, of your soul, of your energy. And as you do that, we're going to ask our higher mind or our higher self to connect us to beautiful source. And we're just going to ask source to just bring down and radiate that energy, bringing it down through our crown, through every center of our system, all the way down, connecting all the way down to Mother Gaia. And as that energy of beautiful source connects to Gaia, Gaia is now bringing up her beautiful energy through every single center again, all the way up through the top of our chakra, connecting with source, coming together as above, so below, as within, so without. And we are creating that beautiful cycle, that beautiful rhythm. And I want you to feel the rhythm of their pulsations when the two of them come together. Feel how magnetizing that is. Feel its power. Feel at the same time, even though it has so much power, I want you to feel the lightness of it. And I just want you just to embody that. Feel it pulse through your blood and the plasma that's within your body. Feel it up, filling up every single cell, feeling that. Just pulsating through your muscles and your tendons, through every bit of your nerves, through all of your nervous system, feeling that support and that love. And I just want you to feel it, because we're always connected to Source. We're always connected to Mother Gaia. I mean, they've got us. They're literally holding us so much in their beautiful energy. And I just want you to feel that. And in that, all there is truth. Again, love, compassion. There is no fear, no overwhelm, no agitation. Just the essence of pure beauty that is literally radiating from them and from us, and we are all coming together in this beautiful essence, connecting to that beautiful, coherent, harmonic resonance. Feel it in your heartbeat. Feel it in the pulse of your vibration. Now taking a deep breath in, the deepest breath in you could ever do. Bringing that in, and just exhaling slowly. Knowing that you are being held in love and truth and compassion. And so it is. And you can either sit in that energy for as long as you want, but I just want to wish all of you a very beautiful day. Thank you again for joining me. And I'll be back when I have the next amazing download. All right, everyone. So much love from my heart to yours.